Welcome to another episode of Techman Talks Dynamics. We are back on the CRM and Power Platform agenda today. So I've got John, Zach with me, and I'm Jason. Today we are going to be talking about deprecations. So features that are about to go or have recently gone out of the CRM suite. And bit of an odd podcast, I guess, but there's probably some features that you're going to hear that you're going to never knew that existed. And there's going to be some going, that's annoying. And there's going to be some that you sit there going, well, that never really even made it in the first place and Microsoft were already getting rid of it. But I think whilst we talk about a lot of features that do get announced and are coming, which is fantastic, obviously there are from time to time situations where Microsoft will announce that some features just haven't really made the cut anymore and it's time to get rid of them. And this podcast is just to give you a little bit of insight of what some of those features are. So, should we start with sales? Yeah? Who wants to start?
Well, obviously I'm going to mention sales usage reports because that's something that we were both talking about recently. Yep. I was given the task of enabling it, and then as I did, I found out it was being deprecated. So the sales usage reports, I hadn't really, as you said, Microsoft hadn't shouted about it. I didn't really know it was there at all. It was hidden behind a couple of menus.
And I think just to emphasise what sales usage reports are, for those that didn't know about it, it's a bit like, unfortunately, don't worry about it, but we will give you a little bit of guidance of what it did. It was a good area to see how, from a sales and marketing operation point of view, the level of activity within your system, the level of data creation, data update, data maintenance within your system. So it was like an inbuilt Power BI dashboard that gave you kind of by user, as an organisation, accounts, leads, contacts, opportunities created, updated, edited, deleted, etc. And it would give you in a view that you could see over a period of time how active your kind of data was around your kind of sales management piece, which I thought quite useful. Inbuilt, bedded in, added to the sitemap. Use it, especially from a management point of view. But yeah, they're not quite gone yet. So anybody that's interested, take a look to see what you could have had. But more than anything, it's a Power BI dashboard is what it is, utilising data versus data. So there's no reason why it can't be recreated, and something that we're looking at ourselves. So we may even be packaging up something similar that we can easily deploy. Yes, there are licenses involved, but easily deploy for something similar to understand usage within the system as well. So, but yeah, I think 1st of December 2025, they're gone. So they're still there now, but the features tells you that it's going, but it will be gone at the start of December.
Yeah. I think it covers a lot of the things we're going to talk about today, which is there are some pre-baked tools that you can just enable and turn on.
Yep.
And those are the ones that are going, but whilst they take away on one hand, giving with the other, and there's a lot of talk about Power BI, Fabric, more APIs that allow you to connect up. So it's taking away that pre-baked element, but allowing you to create your own for exactly what you need.
Yeah, and I probably do get it a little bit from a Microsoft why they might be getting rid of it if they've had some feedback of perhaps little to no usage of it versus people have used it and go, oh, I would like it in a slightly different way. And because you can't get to the report underneath to ultimately go and change it, it's you're stuck with what it is. So that's where Microsoft are going, oh, but you can also download an alternative and you can then also go and edit it yourself and do what you want with each kind of scenario. So there is a sample Power BI report for sales usage that you can trial, and that's probably the starting point as an alternative, and then maybe look at kind of creating something custom if you need it. But we're going to explore that, and we might kind of talk about that on a blog post a little bit more in the coming weeks.
I mean, it covers a lot. I mean, I've done consultancy in the past where you've got something out the box that covers 95% of what the customer wants. And you have instances where the customer will go, I've got 90% of what I want, it's cost me nothing, great.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's, no, I need to get that extra 10%. And it's going to be the same with this. There's going to be somewhere it's going to be a problem. There's going to be somewhere you cope without it.
Yeah, again, I think it's just one of those where that sales usage report is an alternative, but otherwise it's a lot with the CRM platform and the Power Platform, you've got the toolkit.
Yeah.
And we can create whatever it is that you want as such like that. And that's the power of it, without no pun intended. But at the same time, customers, me from a kind of running an area, responsible area of a business, sometimes I'd just like to just plug and play something and just give me kind of scenario. So, but yeah, so that's number one. What else on the sales side do we want to mention?
I think just a general point that was going to be inevitable after all of the Copilot releases, which have gone into Dynamics as a whole. With that, obviously, comes deprecations around Copilot. That
What? What?
You know, Microsoft have realised that pushing everything all at once, with all of the AI tools they, have introduced, with that, some of it is going around document summary. There's also emails needing follow-up in Copilot, which is going. Copilot being full screen view.
That one is the annoying one for me. The document summary, I must admit I didn't really use it, but obviously my job these days, that's not really me. But emails that need follow-ups and creating emails on the sales side, again, I can kind of get that. Salespeople like to be autonomous.
Yeah.
The Copilot in sales full screen, the amount of times that I've demoed that, albeit in preview, loads up, first screen you get, Copilot blue screen, ask it a question, what's going on. Next thing you see, you start asking it questions like, what's my open opportunity? What opportunities are due to close? I started going, what deals are about to close? Deals is not a thing in the world of Dynamics, it's opportunities. But it started to learn. And I was thinking, this is starting to become useful. Hopefully they can put it live. No. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think essentially they've just moved it into the side pane, really. It's use Copilot when you need it rather than put it in the face as soon as you get there.
Yeah. I still think that Copilot side pane needs some work.
For sure.
I think it's... You need to obviously use it for it to get better. But I think they need to evolve, as a Microsoft point, the prompts that's there. Those prompts have been there, kind of the same prompts now for 12 months or more.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, surely Copilot has evolved, so why not evolve the prompts? Especially from a sales point of view, as a user, you don't want to have to think about what you want to do. You might ask it the question, but that prompt, if that prompt is there, you go, okay, well, I can ask it that, can I? Great. So that's going to help the sales operation in a business, in my opinion. So I think if they're doing that, no problem, but they need to help evolve from a usability perspective in the chat pane.
Yeah, I think all of this was just inevitable with so much of the Copilot functionality they introduced. There was always going to be deprecations as a result of, user feedback and just general,
CRM
usage of it.
Yeah, CRM has been that product. The CRM suite has been those apps, that product collection that has had Copilot thrown at it left, right and centre.
Yeah.
And in some scenarios, it's really good. The Copilot on things like customer service, some of the chat pane in some scenarios is good. The creating emails from a case critical using Copilot, the knowledge base article creation, that kind of stuff is good. Now the summaries on the records, not just the interaction timelines, are good. But yeah, it feels like there's some things that with agents now coming in, Microsoft need to distinguish how far do they go with Copilot inside of CRM versus how much do they do of agent, pre-built agent for Microsoft inside of CRM, versus where do we work with our customers to create their own agents that ultimately makes a difference to their process. I think it's so the blue screen, front screen of Copilot really annoyed me for a few seconds. Okay, anything else on sales? That was the main things for me more than anything.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I've got a note about some of the sales forecasting and analytics. Again, it's that out the box baked reporting, And there's an alternative of a new API that will do the forecasting for you if you write something that interacts with it.
Yeah.
So again, it's that whole sort of thing. We're taking away the pre-baked stuff, but we're given the option to create your own.
Yeah, and I think there are some where Microsoft don't give you an alternative of what they're just getting rid of it. There isn't anything that we can tell you for now that is an alternative or a replacement. But sometimes it's you've got the technology, you've got the capability to go and create something yourselves. And obviously in a SaaS environment, Microsoft are looking at usage, and that has a big play on what they're getting rid of. In the crudest way of putting it is how much is actually being used. So, okay, customer service. As a next one, anything that people want to highlight? And
I mean, there are some dashboards and reporting, again, following the same theme which are going. The main one that jumped out to me, though, was Unified Service Desk is being deprecated. Now, I don't think it's something that's going to be turned off immediately.
Yeah.
I think it's starting next year, and they will continue to support it, from what I've read, until June 2028. So this is not an immediate, it's going off next month. People have time to adjust.
I think the reality of that is it's probably twofold, isn't it? We've already spoke a little bit around from a customer service hub point of view. Any new customers don't get that anymore in terms of existing customers that were already been using it now. That's still there, still usable for now. But any new customers don't get that app. You only get the Copilot Service Workspace, which used to be called the Customer Service Workspace, because everything has to have the word name Copilot in it. But I think for me as well, you've also got a consideration of you had Unified Service Desk, you had Customer Service Hub, which is going, Copilot Service Workspace, and then obviously that's been coming in for a while, you've got the contact center kind of functionality as well. So I think that's Microsoft have got to take all this many that they've got and kind of go, well, actually, what is it that customers should be using? Because otherwise, as partners like us, we're going to be sitting there going, oh, okay, well, we can implement that for you because we're used to implementing it. But the reality is we should be going down that route, not then charging the customer for switching them over as such. So, yeah, by default now, we will deploy the Copilot Service Workspace for customers.
Yeah.
So,
and that was what it was saying. Most, whatever was in there is going to be coming to Workspace. So, as with everything, we're taking it with one hand, giving it back with another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as well, not to just be Copilot representative in this podcast, but there's also the sort of classic AI that was in customer service is now being sort of upgraded to use Copilot.
Yeah.
Things like the conversation summaries and the conversation topics and things like that. That's now becoming Copilot. So that's another important one for sure.
I think the other bit for me is the link to contact center as well. The people that have had it for a little while, or they've trialled it, for example, and then not done anything further with it. You'll have the old omni-channel apps that are in there that used to be used for the chat widgets and integration to social media and all that kind of stuff. They're going. That's because contact center is here. So that's obviously been gone a little while in terms of the provisioning of that. There'll be a point in time. It hasn't been announced officially that I can see yet. The actual deprecation is being done in phases, but contact center is the way to manage that kind of functionality and just within core of the kind of Dynamics admin. So that was another thing for me. It's kind of Microsoft expanding and then consolidating is the best way of describing it. Yeah. Loads of new features, we'll put it in an app, and then we realise actually that feature is probably we're going to consolidate to put in the apps that people use the most. So makes sense, just it's one of those where some things you just don't jump straight into with Microsoft and realise that actually don't get kind of collared into some of their, oh, that's new, I'll use that, and then Microsoft are getting rid of it and put it into somewhere else. So that's where you've probably got to use a little bit of, if you're experienced in using Dynamics and you're a configurator or admin, you'll kind of get that comment, or you need to kind of lean on someone like us to give you a little bit of guidance of should I jump both feet in or not in terms of what to use.
Yeah. The only other one I'd mention is Smart Assist. I mean, we've been throughout this year going through a process of of implementing knowledge base, more knowledge search within our own customer service department, everyone got very used to Smart Assist. Then all of a sudden, it's going. But again, as in the theme of takeaway and return, you get the co-pilot, you get the questions, and we did like a little metric run of it to see how we did it testing side by side. And I remember the one that sort of stuck out, that we knew there were 4 articles in our knowledge base that were about a particular subject. We asked Smart Assist to help on this one case, it returned 2. We asked Copilot, it returned 4.
Yeah.
So Copilot got a better result, but people had started to get used to Smart Assist. But there you go.
Evolution of technology, but I think for me that's where Copilot is really good in the CRM space and the apps and customer service side, is returning that helpful information whilst you're trying to deal with problems with customers or internally or whichever. I think that function, the Copilot, is very powerful in that sense. As you said about the dashboards at the start, again, a lot of that's linked to omnichannel and those kind of dashboards that Microsoft are going, okay, well, omnichannel's been replaced by contact center, so we don't really need those dashboards anymore. And if you did use it, it's probably a bit of a polite nudge. I was going to say kick, but polite nudge to customers that have been using omnichannel to say, well, actually, you need to start your migration over into contact center as well, realistically. Okay. Anything else on customer service?
Not from me.
Okay. Customer insights then.
Yes, so really some of these are, over a year old, but the most recent one that was deprecated was it's called the Marketing Effectiveness Analytics Dashboard. Again, it's kind of similar to a sales usage report. It was just a standard report that they gave you that basically just looked at how effective your marketing was, but it was always a preview feature. It was never something that sort of came into customer insights and you were forced upon it. It was a feature switch that you could tick yes or no, but Microsoft have obviously just deprecated it. And I guess it just comes back to the push to use Power BI to do your own custom reporting rather than, lean on a pre-built dashboard.
Again, it's one of those, isn't it? It's that balance that we've said before, going people want what they want or how they want it, but sometimes it's that starter. How do you start? What do I see? And I want something similar to that, like this. You have that blank piece of paper and you go, oh, where do I start?
Yeah.
And obviously that's the reliance on people like us to say, well, this is how we can start, instead when Microsoft aren't giving us anything to start off with. So it's like catch-22. We understand that people want specific to them, but sometimes you need to give them the guidance of how to get it moving in the first place.
Yeah. And just again on customer insights, these are obviously things that we've been talking about for ages, but just to sort of recap that these have gone, is around social posting. That integration used to be there in outbound marketing.
Yeah.
LinkedIn lead generation as well. Used to be able to integrate LinkedIn with...
Which was more like the LinkedIn forms.
Yeah, LinkedIn lead gen forms used to be integrated with outbound marketing. I guess on customer insights, it's worth saying that they haven't said LinkedIn is going away forever. There is sort of that, you can almost touch that they are going to bring back LinkedIn integration. I think as the years go on, they haven't announced anything officially, but I just can't see how they won't integrate it in the future with customer insights, to be honest.
Yeah, there is a guide. I haven't looked at it in a little while, but there is a guide where you can create a custom integration to customer insights from LinkedIn for kind of leads and that kind of stuff. But it's that balance that's the hard thing with software is, right, I need it, I want it. Microsoft have taken it away. We've got an alternative. Let's go down the alternative. Customer pays for it. And then 2 months later, Microsoft go, hey, we've decided we're bringing this back. I think that software in general, some people people will always take that risk or take that decision, and then a few months later, Microsoft gives something back. Yeah. We've seen it. Microsoft does it in the software industry. People will go and create apps, third-party solutions for Business Central, CRM, etc. And then the next thing you know, in a new release, Microsoft said, oh, we're doing that functionality. And then all of a sudden that app has come to an end all of a sudden. And then that person that built it, that revenue is gone. And so it happens both to customers and to software businesses as well. And in a way, it means that actually you're getting money for what it is that you're paying for on your subscription, but sometimes, obviously, you've paid the money as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Maybe twice, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd categorise the LinkedIn integration as something that I think will reappear if I was a better man. Something that won't be reappearing is
What's the wager? What's the wager? Come on, what's the wager?
In the next 10 years. I could
Okay,
put
10 years, all right.
Something that won't be coming back though is social posting. I just don't see that coming back into customer insights just because it can't offer, the dedicated social posting functionality that are dedicated to
it was some of the insights and stuff like that. It wasn't always just about like
basic.
The post. To deliver a post into LinkedIn or what was Twitter, but X or whichever, it did that okay on a scheduled basis, but it was then just the level of interaction and insight and what impressions you've made and that kind of stuff. It was just, compared to the likes of Frog and Hootsuite and those type of tools, it was just...
Yeah, I think that is the replacement.
Just wasn't going to cut it really, and obviously Hootsuite and Frog and others have integrations to CRM, so that data can be brought in as well if needed. The bit for me on customer insights was it never really took off, but it was a AI co-pilot. Hey, I can look to assist on the theming of your emails and the styling and make sure it fits based on your branding, etc. And I can give you ideas of what an alternative style might be.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried it out and I don't think it
Be honest,
really
go on, be honest, go on.
I don't think it ever really worked, and it's never going to work really, is it? Because you're getting AI to style emails, and every company out there is going to have brand guidelines and someone dedicated in the team for the design of emails. So an AI doing it is almost always going to insult the person.
Yeah, I think it's one of those going.
In charge of that.
If someone wasn't, if a business didn't have a dedicated marketing personal people,
any form,
and to have a go at them, just saying, just create me this. Oh, that'll do. Send away.
Yeah.
Then it might have been acceptable to an extent, but I think in today's world, just to get something, it's less about just getting content out the door for the sake of getting content out. It's about looking right, the right message, the right, again, the topic of conversation turning to us at this moment in tone of voice and things like that, that in terms of how not just what it looks like, but how you read it, how you consume it. So I think for something that's generic in an AI co-pilot that Microsoft give you, the reality is that AI has to be a model underneath that is so specific to your organisation, your branding, your wording, your way of doing things, and how you speak to your customers or prospects, that using something so generic will only ever give you something start of a 10 that you're going to maybe sit there and go, I could have done this quicker myself without using the assistant as such.
Yeah, agreed. It was just a war that it was never going to win, unfortunately, for AI. So, goodbye.
Those marketing people will still exist for a little while longer, eh? Right, final one, because Power Platform has got some deprecations in it, but for where we are right now, I'm not going to delve into too many of those for this particular podcast. So the last one that we'll mention on the CRM suite for now is the field service side and any kind of notable deprecation. So, John?
The only one that I saw was the integration with Outlook is going to be going. It looks like that they are pushing more towards doing everything inside CRM. Inside field service.
I saw it was like Outlook Teams and Planner and stuff like that from September. I feel it's going to be more in-app. I think it's then going to be a co-pilot for service, and that side is going to expand on the Microsoft Copilot for Service into kind of the field service side, into then just the agent side that's coming in more in the new year. It's currently on. You can try it right now in a preview, but more that agent functionality. So I think from my view, I think that's why Microsoft are getting rid of just the I'll call it old school, but what we're all used to, integration with Outlook and Teams and stuff like that. I think they're trying to make a next step with it, with the whole Copilot agent experience to make it better. But yeah, they're not support. So the announcement was 1st of September, but then after the 30th of October, so 9 days from now, it's not supported from Microsoft. So those features will not be able to be deployed, and if they're still there and they still are legacy in your system setup, if you've got an issue with them after that date, unfortunately, it's best endeavours to try and get it back working, and if it doesn't get working, Microsoft are going to go, sorry, it's now an end of life feature. The bit for me on field service was the reports. Again, going back to the sales usage reports, something out the box. It was the out-of-the-box resource utilisation, work order summaries, admin kind of scheduling optimisation kind of reporting, and optimisation summary reporting for resources. And then remote assist we've never utilised or any other customers utilised, but there was the calls dashboard for remote assist. But they're all going. So it was deprecated after May this year. Again, not supported after August. So technically aren't deployable anymore. And if they're in your system, it's just a matter of time where you won't see them anymore. It's just a case of Microsoft just getting through the process of getting it removed, I guess. Again, good starter for TENS, I guess, is to give people the idea of what's possible in terms of looking at utilisation, what people are doing, how effective people are, jobs that you've got, that kind of stuff. But it's one of those people are going creating their own and want something specific. It's well, actually, you need to go and use Fabric, Power BI, etc. Just go and create it yourself. So kind of bittersweet a little bit like sales usage. Great as a starter, great as an evaluation point. But most people say, I probably want something a little bit specific to me. But still a little bit of a frustrating one for me because it gets things going. And more than anything, it's good to demo. So I'm being selfish. Because you sit there going, what reports come out of the system? And opposed to going, well, what do you want? It's say, these are some reports that we can get out of the system. So yeah, that was my little bit of selfishness. Okay. Overall, do we think there's anything kind of groundbreaking that's going to affect our customers right now that what we've got, that's that news of kind of the key, they're not all the deprecations, but some of the key deprecations that we've noted. Is it going to fundamentally change our customers' kind of usage of CRM in the coming months?
I can't really see it.
No.
I wouldn't say so, no.
A little bit around the edges.
Yeah. I think, like I say, the Copilot blue screen front end is the most frustrating one for me because I started to see use of how a salesperson could just ask questions about what they're doing, what they need to do, what's coming, how to prioritise their day. Now, again, we know that you could manage your tasks and have filtered views and all that kind of stuff, but it's the least point to kind of getting going as salespeople. So that's a frustrating point for me. I'm hoping Microsoft bring an agent out that kind of helps with that, but that's not been spoke about as yet, so that's more of my wish and hope. But yeah, I agree, there's probably nothing else on there that's going to change our customers' lives from a usage of CRM perspective at the moment. But I also think that this is still worthwhile talking about because we always talk about the new features and what's really good and what's coming. But sometimes we've just got to keep an eye on, there are things that quietly disappear and then you go, where's that gone?
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was just worth spending half an hour just going through that. Cool. So on that note, we'll bring that to a close then. Not quite a happy, chirpy, look at the fantastic functionality kind of podcast, but important podcast nonetheless. So thank you very much, John. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. That's been another episode of Techman Talks Dynamics. See you on the next one.